But so I'm back now, and I'm going live because I don't need to edit what I have to say or add special effects. I'm going to speak because that's what I do. And ended up back with my biological parents. And the trauma got even worse. And that is something else that I'm going to talk about. But it was supernatural trauma. And I think I understand now why I went through that. Because before, I thought that it was either God punishing me or maybe I got a demon that I'm possessed with. And so these things must happen to me. No. That is not true. So, anyways, let's cut to the chase. I connected with God at a powerful level when I was 8 years old. I felt his presence. I felt his pulling, calling me, tugging at me. And I responded, "Who are you? What are you? And where are you?" And I asked this presence many questions. And there was no answer. Now I began seeking his presence anyways, because for me, that presence called God was the only thing I knew that was a family, was a mother and a father. There's a verse somewhere in the Bible that says, when your mother and your father has forsaken you, God will adopt you as his own. And that is what became my mother and my father, was God. I didn't look at my earthly parents as parents. They were just there. They brought me into this world by physical means. But to me, God was my father. And I lived that way supernaturally. Oh, my young days, teenage days, I live for God. I do not function well in this world, this physical world, unless there is God. That's spirituality. So I began looking for God from then. From as far as I can remember, I began looking for God. And I went to where my parents says God was. It was in a church, a denomination, a religion. And I didn't find him there. I just found people and words and preaching and fighting and bickering and who's going to do the tithe and offering today and who's going to preach tomorrow. And they found out that I could sing and who's going to sing this week and who's going to sing that week. Who's going to hold it was men doing things to each other. There was no God there, though. Men condemning other men, saying they will not go to heaven or see God's face because they're not here and they're not doing these rules and obeying these rules, so they're going to burn in hell. And I said, there's something wrong here. And I was 14 years old when I said, God, there's something wrong. I stood at a crossroad, a literal crossroad, after I got out of church at 14, and I stood at the crossroad. There's a road there, a road there, a road there, and a road there, and I said, God, there is something wrong. How can you burn all these people in hell just because they don't want to do this? They're going to go to hell? You're going to burn them forever and ever in hell? You're going to burn me because I told a lie? You're going to burn me? Because I had an evil thought? You're going to burn me in hell forever and ever because I went over to the neighbors and we were gossiping about the neighbor over there. You're going to burn me in hell forever and ever. No, look, God, I was born in torment. I was born to die. I was born suffering. They gave me up for adoption and I suffered over there in British Columbia, Canada. They brought me back to my parents and I suffered even more. But you're gonna make me suffer more in hell for all eternity because I stole my mother's fudge because I was hungry and she wasn't there and I was hungry and I stole it. She told me not to take it, but I stole it because I was hungry. She told me you're gonna burn me in hell forever. I had all these questions and I've been asking questions in church and they told me just shut up, just believe the prophet, the last day prophet. Believe her. Who wrote the books for the last day of us. But I said something is wrong because what kind of God are you that I'm suffering now and you're going to burn me in hell after? Because I did something wrong. So I began seeking, though. See, I never stopped seeking. I began seeking that presence that I felt when I was 8 years old. A presence that made me feel that there is a Father holding me and looking out for me and protecting me. I began looking for this presence, and I never stopped until this moment that I'm speaking to you, okay, in my phone. And then I've been through some things. I've been through some things because I felt condemned. God, I was never good enough for God. I was never good enough for the church. I would sit there in the church and feel so condemned by the messages that are being preached. How unworthy I am. And that is the power of sin. The more unworthy you feel, the more you do the thing that God says you're not supposed to do. And because I was so in tune and so connected and so wanting to serve God, every time I tried to not do the thing that I thought God didn't want me to do, the more I did it because of condemnation. And I never felt good enough. And I told God then, by all means, burn me in hell now. Sentence me to hell for all eternity because I'm not good enough for you. Why did you even give me life? Why didn't you just take my life and let me die when I was supposed to die in my mother's womb?